What can I do if my teenager doesn't want to see me for my parenting time? Hi, I'm Bill Farias, founder of Farias Family Law, and we had a woman meet with us about a year ago, and the issue was that her 14-year-old son was wanting to spend more and more time at his dad's house because his dad basically let him do what he wants. So the kid had way more freedom at his dad's house. Why does he want to spend time at mom's house with all of these rules and these boundaries? He wanted nothing to do with it. He's a teenager. And so she was struggling with the fact that she couldn't force him to come. He didn't want to come. And so her question is, what do I do about this? So generally the way that it works is once a child is about at the age of 14, it is very difficult to convince a judge to issue any orders on parenting time that are contrary to the child's wishes. The exception to this is if there is a serious issue with one of the parents or a safety concern. Certainly if one of the parents has serious issues that might negatively impact the child, then a judge may restrict parenting time. But generally, once a child is about the age of 14, a court is not going to force the child into a parenting schedule against that child's wishes. And again, this is just a general rule. Certainly there are some exceptions. So what do you do about this? If the child is about 14 and wants to just start spending all of the time with dad, unless there's a serious issue with dad, the court's going to be reluctant to issue orders against it. And the main reason for that is it's very difficult to enforce that, right? If you try trapping a teenager into a house that the teenager doesn't want to be in, that's generally going to lead to more problems. They're going to be taking off, they're going to be acting out. And so the court usually doesn't get involved if the child is opting to stay at one parent's home as long as it's relatively safe there. So what you want to do here, if you have a teenager who is not spending time with you, is you want to try to the extent possible to manage this organically. And so what does that mean? That means that you are going to have to build your relationship up with the child to the point where the child is going to want to come to your home. And now you might be asking, well, how am I going to do that? What am I going to do? Just say, all right, there are no rules. You can do what you want. Certainly that's not the route to go. However, many times I've found in the past that it was helpful to sort of create a happy medium where certain adjustments are made so that the child is enticed to stay at the stricter parent's place, but things are a little bit looser. Things have changed a little bit so that the child is more comfortable and more motivated to stay there. Again, it's a delicate balance. You don't want a free-for-all. You certainly don't want to put the child in a position where there is a risk to the child's safety or the child is engaging in behaviors that are destructive. So it can be difficult to accomplish this, but this is the best way to go. A big mistake that people make is rushing to file complaints for contempt on cases like this, right? They'll blame the other parent. She's not letting the child come and see me, or he's not letting the child come and see me. And many times it's just the child doesn't want to go. And if that's the case, it's going to be very difficult to convince a judge to find the other parent in contempt. Now, certainly if the other parent is obstructing the contact and making things unnecessarily difficult for you to build up the relationship with the child and get the child to your house for parenting time, then a contempt may be in order. What I would say is make sure that you talk to an attorney before filing any paperwork on a contempt to make sure that you have a valid case. You don't want to be filing frivolous complaints. So that said, going back to the main point, you want to try to manage this organically in your communication with the child, in maybe reworking the boundaries and the setup. If necessary, you want to consider counseling. Sometimes that's helpful. So maybe you do some family counseling for a few sessions with the child and sit down with a therapist and work out some differences. So that's another approach that we found has been successful in the past. So that's how you manage a child not wanting to do parenting time with you. It's a very difficult situation because unless there's a serious issue with the other parent, it's going to be difficult to get the court to step in. You want to manage it organically to the extent possible. Take a fresh look at how you're operating and the rules and restrictions you have on the child, and see if there is any flexibility that's going to balance safety for the child and making sure that there are appropriate limits and boundaries, with also giving the child a little bit more leeway. As children hit that age of 14 plus, they want a little bit more independence, and you want to make sure you're taking that into consideration when you're building your plan for rules and boundaries. So the other thing is, again, if the other parent is obstructing, there may be a contempt issue, but you want to consult an attorney before you file anything. So that's how you deal with a teenager not wanting to see you on your parenting time. If you have any other questions about this, you can call us at 508-675-0464. You can email us at info@fariasfamilylaw.com. If you found this video helpful, feel free to subscribe and share this with anyone you think might benefit from it. And you can find us on social, on Facebook and Instagram at Farias Family Law. Thank you. Have a good day.